We're here with Whitney discussing the issues with our American education system. Here with us we have Walt Disney, our special guest for today.
We are here to answer those questions that concerned parents and even the nation have about our declining state of education.
We will discuss the funding, the students, and the areas of study right after this.
When kids do graduate, the most daunting challenge can be the cost of college. At a time when Americans owe more in tuition debt than credit card debt, this Congress needs to stop the interest rates on student loans from doubling in July.
Today we will touch on some key points that President Obama mentioned.
Personally, I'm glad our president is so concerned about education.
I agree. He has some very valid points, and some of which we're trying to resolve now. Have you heard of flip mastery?
Yes, the concept of flip mastery ties into the No Child Left Behind initiative started by President Bush in 2002.
The problem with the No Child Left Behind program is that it was never properly funded.
True. That brings us to our first topic of the day, money.
It seems to me that the No Child Left Behind program is not the only thing that hasn't been properly funded.
In general, finances and education haven't been going towards the right subjects lately. They stress too much about irrelevant things when they should be focused on buying new books or paying teachers a worthy salary.
My daughter, Diane's school, recently paid about $300,000 on giving each student a personal laptop. I feel like this could be redirected towards something a little bit more wholesome and productive.
How is it exactly that we have money for that, but at the same time it seems that so many other programs aren't properly funded?
This is a very good point, and it also is a bit disturbing to me. The education of our up-and-coming generation of Americans should be a major priority, and in some situations it hasn't been.
I agree. For example, cutting school days in our Department of Defense schools are being considered due to the sequestration that has come about recently.
I did hear about that. I feel that the time spent in classrooms is extremely valuable and isn't something that should even be considered being cut down on.
I wonder what exactly is going to come from that situation. Wouldn't schools have to shorten the amount of curriculum in order to fit it all in?
If they didn't, I imagine it would be very stressful for the students to try and cram all of that information in at an even smaller amount of time.
Of course, that wouldn't be taken into consideration.
When we come back, we'll talk about higher education and the expenses that come with it.
Federal student aid wasn't enough for me, so I researched and found that the General Electric Credit Union offers student choice to fill a funding gap like mine. Unlike other student loans, a student choice loan offers lower rates, zero origination fees, and more flexible repayment terms. That's why I decided on a student choice loan, where I belong.
If you want to learn more about a student choice lower interest rate loan, it's easy. You can even apply right now online at egefcu.org.
Welcome back. This is Channel 12 News. I'm Leonardo da Vinci. If you're just now joining us, we're discussing our current state of education in America. We know that college is expensive, but isn't it unfortunate to think that so many can't continue their education because they can't afford it?
Definitely. And recently, scholarships have become even harder to come by. Here's a quote from the New York Times. The recession has led foundations, corporations, state governments, and colleges themselves to reduce their support of providers of scholarships, and in recent months, programs have been reduced or canceled outright. The cuts come as economic conditions make it harder for families to pay for colleges and as more unemployed people look for funds for retraining.
Well, students can apply for financial aid, but with today's society, unfortunately, there are a lot of crooks out there that will scam students.
That's something that definitely needs to be looked out for, and I think that maybe the government should do a little bit more to monitor those kinds of things.
This article, for example, discusses this topic. Mr. Kirchheimer explains that some cons charge applicants about $10,000 or so, $5 to $35, but only end up giving 1 or 2 small scholarships.
We are educators helping people build a foundation for the rest of their lives. ITT Technical Institute, education for the future. Call 1-800-942-0077 or visit us on the web.
Welcome back. Leonardo here, discussing the state of education in America. We're here to talk about the attitude of the students and teachers in these schools.
The problem is that kids nowadays just don't care about school.
I believe that all kids want to learn, but that the teachers don't care much for the child's well-being. They don't have the patience for some kids out there.
Both the child and the teacher have to try in order for them to achieve anything in academics. They need patience and an urge to learn.
Referring back to the subject of flip mastery, In this case, do you believe it is in the best interest of the students and the teacher?
Not all students use the opportunities that Flip Mastery gives them. Teaching within a classroom gives those kids that do slack off nothing to do but learn the material, because they have to sit there and endure the lesson.
The blame should not be put on just the students. There are people out there that do believe that teachers don't work as much because they are paid very little, which is not always the case.
So many children have the potential to do great things but don't apply themselves very well. It's the teacher's job to make sure that the child lives up to its potential.
What America needs now are people that can compete in the economy today. Most jobs available now stress highly on math and science, which are subjects that this country has the most problems with. Our third and final topic of the day is the areas of study in our school system.
We are going to cover 3 areas that need improvement.
The first area that needs improvement is critical thinking. Critical thinking has been proven to make students more curious, more creative, and even boost confidence.
Children are simply learning to pass the tests and not how to use their knowledge to succeed in life. Critical thinking not only improves test scores, it improves all areas of learning. When students get the chance to make connections and discover things on their own, they will remember concepts longer and enjoy learning much more.
The second area of study our school system is lacking are high-level science and math courses. In today's world of technology and innovation, all of the top-paying, high-ranking jobs are science and math-based professions.
As many as 2 million jobs are left unfilled because we simply can't meet the high standards they set.
2 million jobs? Wow.
Yes, but those companies aren't going to wait around for us to get our act together. They are looking to other countries to fill those spots.
If American children take challenging math and science courses in high school, they could go to college and later fill those high-paying jobs. Not only would that lessen the unemployment rate, it would also help the American economy.
The third area of study we will cover is the arts. Arts in schools has been proven time and time again to help children succeed in so many ways. And yet, whenever a budget cut happens, it is always the art programs that suffer.
Art teaches life skills, boosts confidence, and stimulates imagination.
Many students just aren't interested in school, but adding and improving fun art classes will change that.
That concludes our discussion on the current state of education in America.
Thanks for watching, and tune in tomorrow to hear Hitler's opinion on healthcare.